Anyway, uh, you hang on. Oh shit, I may have forgotten to change some shit. Hang on. Since I'm playing Amazing Grace. There it is. All right. Just go back here, right? Look, just act normal, all right? But you know who isn't into sissy hypno? Uh, I'm a bit delayed. That's not the right thing. You didn't see that. Where the fuck is it? Shut. What the fuck? Holy shit! Where is the icon? There you are. All right, welcome back to Amazing Grace. Holy shit, that was loud. Anyway, last time we played Amazing Grace, you are a mess. Amazing Grace. No, I'm not. I'm wearing a Santa hat, so I'm not. How can I be a mess? I'm Santa. But can you believe it, guys? Christmas, just a week away. That's what happened last time. You know, Yune, it's also her birthday on Christmas, so Kirie, Kotaha, Sakuya, and Shu came together and was like, what gifts are we gonna give her? And Shu will and Shu will give Yune this dick. I mean, what? I didn't say that. Anyway, I forgot Magpie. Yeah, anyway, let's just jump into it, shall we? Yeah, cream pie. That's what Yune's gonna get from. That's what Yune's present from Shu is. So, yeah. Let's hope that I'm not deafened at the end of this. So, yeah. The next morning. Alright, how about we lower the voice volume a bit?
Amazing Grace.
Fucking hell, okay. Let's not worry about that. You're way more annoying than the dove. Feeling guilty, Kirie decided she'd be in charge of waking me up every morning. A decision I didn't enjoy in the slightest. Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. Kirie did the worst thing possible and destroy Shu's dove. And that's why she's 4th place. Where is the Kirie? No. Wednesday is when we have film class. What are we watching today?
さっきリリー先生に聞いたんだけど、時をめぐるアンナを見るみたい。時をめぐるアンナ？あの名作をか？
The girl who jumped through time. Right, yeah, that... Is it famous or something?
もちろん、私たち世代なら誰でも知ってる傑作映画だよ。私も大好きなの。
I can't wait to watch it.
時をめぐるアンナは感動間違いなしの大作だ。涙なしには見られねえぜ。
For you to say something like that, it must be packed full of explosions, right?
そんなことないない。普通の青春ものだよ。
Oh ho. If it's powerful enough to make move Kyrie to tears, it must be a masterpiece. It probably is.
少女アンナはある日、時間を遡る力に目覚めるんだ。タイムリープっていうの。
I see, I see. It's about what I expected based on the title.
意中の男と結ばれるために何度も何度も同じ時間をやり直すけど、なかなかうまくいかなくてってな。
So she's stuck in a sort of time loop, huh? She's stuck in a Samsara, or a groundhog day, as you will.
卒業式までに恋を実らせたいのに、アンナが戻れるのは3日前だけで。
Okay, look, considering that there's a lot of media of only being able to go back like 1 day, 3 days is a pretty big amount of time.
その3日間で男を惚れさせなくちゃいけないのが面白いんだよな。
Look, I've read my fair share of regression manhwa, alright? Being able to go back multiple times, that's overpowered. Sounds interesting. I can't wait to see it.
シュウも見たら絶対ファンになるぜ。そうそう、最後相手の男の子も今までの記憶を覚えてたってわかるとこなんか感動だから。
What? You just spoiled every... Yune, you're not meant to spoil it for everyone. Like, come on, man. Wait, what do you mean?
3日間しかないって思ってたのに、本当は10回分のアタックも全部知られてて。
Okay, so you're telling me that what is it actually a time loop, or is like...
おい、ユネ、喋りすぎだ。
See, that's what I'm saying, Kyrie. You're not meant to spoil it for Shu. He's meant to figure it out himself. He's meant to figure it out watching the movie.
空回りしてたアンナの一途さに男の子も惚れて、卒業式は一緒に門をくぐるんだよね。
Oh, what a happy ending. You know, maybe if we're being realistic here, right? If the scenario actually played out and the guy remembered everything, he'd be like, no, fuck that. I don't want to deal with this crazy bitch going back in time multiple times just to date me. Nah, she's crazy. Wow. This seems like a story I've heard countless times before.
まあともかく、ユネも大ファンの名作だから心してみろ。
Got it. There isn't a dry eye in the class by the time the movie is finished. What a movie.
やっぱり名作だったよね。ね。
Surely nothing from the movie will play into the mysteries of this town or something. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was, but Yune's spoilers had ruined all the twists and turns. It definitely lived up to its reputation, however. There's one thing I noticed, though. It seemed to be shot on the same set as the other film we watched. Oh! Interesting.
確かにそうかも。なんか森に囲まれてるのも一緒だし。
Both films included a fair amount of forest scenes, giving them a similar vibe. The casts of both appeared to be largely Caucasian as well, and although the stories seemed to resonate closer with us, it was clear the voices were dubbed over, just like the action film. Now I really want to know where and when it was filmed.
Sure. 前もそのこと気にしてたみたいだし、先生に聞いてみようぜ。
そうだね。ちょうどいいかも。
So I asked Sister Lily when the movie we had just watched had been shot.
そうですね。確か1900年頃だったかと。
Bro, that is cap, alright? You cannot tell me that film was shot in the 1900s. It's really that old?
場所についてはわかりません。伝えられていないので。
That means it was shot 118 years ago. Were they even able to film in color back then? I mean, according to this information that I researched last time, apparently, you know, it was a Wizard of Oz popularized color film in the 1930s, but colored film was possible in like late 1800s, apparently. So, you know, the footage was far from high def, but it definitely didn't seem that old. Still, the fact that it clearly wasn't made here means it had to be at least over 101 years ago. Old, I mean. That seems to be how people here measure time.
納得いったか?
No. Obviously not. Yeah. More or less. I'll need access to more of my memories before I can delve any deeper. That doesn't change how amazing the girl who jumped through time was, though. I'm not sure why, but the main actress seemed really familiar for some reason.
マジで？もしかしてアンナ、外にいんのか？
Yes. I don't know. I don't think so.
でも100年以上前の人だよ。今いくつになってるか。
もうヨボヨボのばあさんじゃねえか。
After that, we continued discussing the film. The class ends before I can really get into depth on how I felt, so I promised to resume our film critique later that evening. I mean, look, you've got The Girl Who Jumped Through Time, which is supposedly a 1900s live-action film cast with Caucasian people, or you've got The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is a 2006 animated film from Japan. Pick your poison. $12.20. I didn't know there were 20 months in the year. Thursday. Instead of spending the day in the atelier studying up on painting techniques, we were in the classroom for a special lesson. Since the school curriculum isn't strictly divided into periods, it's not uncommon for the daily schedule to change so drastically without warning.
皆さん、揃っていますか？本日の特別授業は美学です。
Aesthetics.
チベッタの頃から学んできたこととは思いますが、シュウさんにとっては初めてなので、改めて説明いたしますね。
What did I miss? They just watched a movie about how a girl can go back in time every 3 days. 3 days. and it definitely won't have any links to the current mystery because they talked about it in a lot more depth than the previous film that they watched, and somehow it was supposedly filmed in the same set by maybe the same people in the 1900s when colored film was not as popular. Thanks for the hydrate. Miss Lily steps down from the lectern, walking toward us.
美学とは美しいものの本質を探求分析し、また芸術というものの定義にも及ぶ一種の哲学です。神のデザインした自然こそが美しいのか、人の作り出した芸術的な美しさとは何なのか、総じて美という価値観そのものを考える学問ですね。
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and then you leave the classroom.
と、まあ難しい定義もありますが、肝心なのは何をもって美しいとするのかということ。美しいってどういうことと言い換えればわかりやすいですかね。
What's most beautiful to me? And then imagine this is when imagine this is when the choices pop up. Like who is most beautiful to what is the most beautiful thing to me? And and this is how you decide the route. Speaking of choices, how long until I can choose the route? Because like, you know, it's taking a while. What epitomizes beauty itself? That's the basics of aesthetics, according to Sister Lily. Portraits will pop up. Well, that doesn't answer my question, does it? I've seen quite a few breathtaking works of art while here, but I honestly wouldn't be able to explain what I find beautiful about any of them.
ユネさんにとって美しいものとは何ですか?
A while? Give me a date, right? Is it after Christmas or before Christmas?
私はやっぱり何かを表現しているものが美しいかなって思います。
Neither? Excuse me? During Christmas, okay.
なるほど。それは芸術作品などですね。キリエさんは?
What do you mean, no? Okay, something happens before fucking Christmas comes around. Bro, what is this cryptic shit?
物が壊れる瞬間こそ美しいです。
What? Destruction is beautiful.
ある意味、自然と相反するところでしょうか。例としては、キリエさんの考えは分かりやすいかもしれません。
I heard her extol endlessly on the beauty of destruction, so her words don't surprise me. Time is meaningless, that's enough of the hints. Okay, I told you that the fucking plot to The Girl Who Leapt Through Time was gonna hint at something. Why wouldn't it hint at a fucking time loop? Is that the thing, right? I told you! I literally said they were talking in depth on this plot of this movie that they were just talking about. And I'm like, that's definitely not gonna have anything to do with the mystery of this game or anything. Bro, Chekhov's gun. What did I tell you? Still, I admire her ability to describe it so eloquently. Foreshadowing. I guess it's her own personal aesthetic.
哲学と称したように、美学に決まりきった答えはありません。個人それぞれに答えがあっていいんです。無論、かつて存在した 研究者たちの足跡を学んでもらうことはできます。しかしこの授業でそれはしません。自分にとっての美、それを考えてもらうのがこの授業の目的ですから。
The protag is actually a demon or Satan. I wouldn't be surprised at this point, right? They keep talking about Adam and Eve and how, you know, Eve was tempted into eating the apple, and in this case the apple is essentially the outside world, right? And if the outside world is the apple, then Shu would be the demon. You really think the protag is the villain? No. But at the same time, the protagonist being the villain, when at the start of a game they have amnesia, and you find out over time that they're actually the bad guy, is not that uncommon of a trope, right? In this kind of VN, I mean, considering that you've got all of these other supernatural elements, I wouldn't be surprised. I know, but in a romance VN, yeah, but you wouldn't expect a romance visual novel to have time loop shenanigans, okay? You wouldn't expect a romance visual novel to have a fucking ice wall and to have the outside world be considered an apocalypse after the 1900s, right? A regular romance VN wouldn't have the outside world being destroyed over 100 years ago, alright? So, it's not that big of a stretch to have the main character turn out to be the personification of Satan. You wouldn't expect this kind of VN to have reverse violation. I mean, yeah. I didn't expect there to be a whole drug thing. That's definitely not going to play a part in, that's definitely not going to play a part in, anything. The Academy isn't aimed at forcing students to come up with the same answers. Well, that's the beauty of art. You can come up with your own explanations. The students here study, but not for the same reasons I used to.
というわけで、シュウさんが美しいと思うものは何でしょうか？
I find freedom beautiful. that would not go well. Oh, me? And then the portraits show up. Crap, I didn't think she'd call me out like that. What do I say? Is the beauty of destruction. What? Something I find beautiful.
シュウの身近にある美しいものをあげてみたら？
Yeah, she's right in front of my face. I mean, let's see. Well, oh right. Oneto, the lake is gorgeous. If not for the fact that the water in the lake would melt your bones. So, take it as you will.
自然のものですね。鮮やかな色彩なんかがポイントでしょうか？
As for something I've seen here in town, I think the aurora is beautiful. Sure, an ice wall is definitely beautiful.
オーロラもまた自然のままにあるものですね。
I don't think the aurora is a work of nature, okay? The beauty of sexually corrupting someone is the... That's what I meant, right? I guess going natural is beautiful. Don't read too much into that. Bro, he talked about the nudist lifestyle. Now then. True or false? No, false. Classes are done for today. Lately, I've been helping Yune practice, but she wants to be alone today. I should really take some photos. Yeah, you really should, shouldn't you? With the camera Gito gifted me slung around my neck, I get ready to head out. The Culture Festival is really soon, and I need photos to display in my tiny corner. I doubt anything I shoot will be any good. Still, everyone seems convinced by my photos. Convinced my photos will be meaningful because I took them. Because of my unique viewpoint. Who is your favorite character? My favorite character is Sakuya, followed by Yune, followed by Kotoha, followed by Kirie, followed by Sister Lily, followed by Rinka, followed by the Dove. Would you join her cult? No. My existence as someone from beyond the Aurora is my most defining characteristic. As an artist seeking inspiration for my work, I am intrigued by what shaped my perception of the world. I'll check out the shopping district first, then the academy, and finally Oneto. And I will take 0 pictures. Whose anime girl's cult would you join? Komi's or Kaching's? With a simple map drawn out in my head, I set out to take some photos. Komi? Yeah, Komi-san from Komi-san Can't Communicate. I might be an amateur, but I'll give it all I've got. $12.21. Hey, that's a palindrome. 21st of December. Reina is not better than Komi. Don't slander Komi, alright? Just because the fucking mangaka for Komi keeps dragging it out for like no reason, alright? They're already dating in the manga. I don't know why they need to keep going, alright? It took a while. It took them long enough for them to actually date. So I would throw Komi off the cliff for Reina. I would throw you off the cliff for throwing Komi off the cliff. Time really flies, huh? Christmas always seemed so far off in the distance, and then suddenly, it was already the 21st. Since we can't use the chapel on the weekend, this is our last chance to practice. This is our final practice before your recital. Let's give it our all. I'll be fine. I took a bunch of photos yesterday, so all that's left is to develop them. Oh, you actually took photos. We'll see. Honestly, all of them are places you see every day. At the very least, I hope they enjoy getting a glimpse of their world the way I see it. Who is your best girl lolly character anyway? My favorite lolly character? I've already told you, it's fucking Shinobu from the Monogatari series. I need to bring my roll of film to the camera shop to get it developed, but I can do that over the weekend. It's true. Sister Lily will be taking my spot for her actual performance during the Culture Festival. I won't be able to use the organ after today. This is my last chance to create music with her. in VNs. God, in visual novels, who is my favorite lolly character? We've already had this discussion, right? I don't know.
週には感謝してもし足りないな。文化祭終わったらなんかおごるね。
You know what? Technically, there is a Lost Airbender visual novel, right? So, best girl lolly character in VNs, Toph. Fucking... With everything she's done for me, I should be the one thanking her. Well, whatever. She put so much time into this. I really want her performance to go off without a hitch. I can't forget about her birthday party either. It's nothing. Let's start. I'm gonna play the best accompaniment you've ever had.
オッケー。じゃあ今日はリハーサルってことで本番と同じ気持ちでいくよ。
It has to be one you streamed or recorded. Bro. Come on. Okay. Out of the ones I've streamed or recorded. Alright, so you've got Uta, Ori, Henry, Kyrie. I was trying to go chronological from which ones I started filming first, and everyone in my Tetsu. Yeah. Hachiroku, Reina, the 500 millionth Rail Lord. You've got God, Saki Komachi. Look, okay, fine. Out of the best, Azuki. There you go. Yeah, she said that. She's always so enthusiastic. Azuki is in a lolly. Yes, I meant Azuki from Nekopara. I didn't say H. My fingers dance over the organ keys as I pray for a Merry Christmas. Chapter 2, Part 2, The Advancing Canon. That's canon spelt with double N, so it's an actual canon instead of canon N-O-N, which oh, it's Christmas. Can you believe it, guys? Christmas, just a day away. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. You have speech problem? No, I don't have a speech problem. I said Azuki, not Hazuki. Okay, you just have a hearing problem. It's December 24th. No, it's June 10th. You and I know why today is special. Yeah, I can hear it in the background music. I can't believe it's already Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? I gotta stop.
いよいよって感じ。
One of the most important days of the year. Even I can't help feeling excited, despite not believing in the Christian faith. The shopping district is a flurry of noise and excitement, the busiest I've ever seen it during my short time here.
今日は前夜祭だぞ、シュウ。
Of course she's in the Santa outfit. Just be mentally prepared. Oh boy, the Christmas what? I guess she means Christmas Eve.
夜になったら寮でパーティーが行われるんだ。
Oh. The Christmas Eve party sounds like fun. Sounds like a fun time.
だからみんな制作の準備はちゃんと放課後に終わらせて、夜には食堂にいること。当然。
パーキー食いたいしな。
Same. I'll just be busy helping Yune out with whatever she needs. Don't you usually celebrate on Christmas Day?
クリスマスは寮じゃなくて町全体がお祭りだから。
So it's not just the cultural festival then?
文化祭も含めてクリスマスは子供から大人までお祭り騒ぎだ。
If I spent 25, will you stream until the 4-hour mark? Hey. It was only... It's 25 an hour, alright? I'm probably gonna stream until 2, which is... You know what? Yes. I'll stream until the 4-hour mark.
外だとそんな感じじゃなかった？
No, but it's definitely a joyous occasion. Or at least that's how I've always seen it. Whispers the question to me. It seems as if my idea of Christmas isn't so far off from how they celebrate it here. However, where I'm from, Christmas is usually spent with your family or a loved one.
なんでそんな限定的なんだ？みんなで集まった方が楽しいだろう。
家族ったってどこにいるかも知らねえしな。
Kyria, you mind speaking up? You were a bit quiet there. Not as quiet as Hachiroku though.
特定の誰かと過ごすって感じじゃないよね。
Get ready for hell.
Get ready for hell? That, talk about ominous. Happy National Egg Roll and Frosted Cookie Day. As I'm sliding into the shadows and go freeze people to death in the DLCs of my game. Okay. Also, speaking of national days that you keep bringing up, on International Donut Day, right? One of my mates, he's like a delivery driver, right? He, as in, for produce and shit like that, right? He got a free donut on National Donut Day. So, you know, I talk about how celebrations are a scam and shit, but if you're actually getting something out of it, right? How strange. The folks in town seem oddly detached from one another, despite seeming much closer. Remember that donut video from last time? What? I did say happy jelly-filled one. Ah, well, it wasn't. I don't think it was jelly-filled. Perhaps it's just two sides of the same coin.
あ、みんな、メリークリスマスイブ。
Next to you did not need to clarify. All right, it was risky me showing that video.
おー店長、なんか新しい映画入荷したか？
新しい映画はないなあ。ホラーならあるけど、キリエちゃんは準備をしないと見れないもんね。
おい待て、なんで店長がそんなこと知ってんだこら。あはは、店長は情報通だもんね。
Okay. Actually, no, I'm not going to say anything because it's close to whatever the fuck's going to happen. I was going to be like, who knows where they're in a time loop, but I'm going to find out.
誰だ？てめえか、幼児！
俺じゃねえよ。
そういえば、先週また落書き事件が起きてたらしいね。みんなは見た？
私たちは見てないですけど、昨夜が最初に発見したみたいです。
俺は前に見ましたけど、やっぱ意味不明でしたね。
まあいたずらなんてそんなものだよね。
店長でも犯人わかんねえのか？
いろんな噂は聞くけど、あんまり信憑性のあるものはないかな。
Nah, Jack's the muralist.
それこそ黒サンタレベルの噂だよね。
店長にもわかんないんだ。
いやしかし、それでもこの名探偵幼児が解決してみせる。
Huh? How? Okay, because out of all of the characters that were introduced, there are like 2 characters that are unaccounted for, essentially. Maybe. Sakuya could be this muralist for all I know, and she'd just be like, I found it somehow on the park or whatever. But it could either be Jack, which seems most likely because he has a character sprite, right? Or it could be the principal, who we just haven't seen yet, right? Because, okay, who can't it be? You've got Yune. You're forgetting someone. I mean, Rinka, I guess, right? She could also be the muralist, right? So you've got a few people. We just know that it isn't probably isn't Shu. Yune, Yuji, Kirie. What the hell? Maybe. It could be Guido. It can also not. It also can't be Sister Lily. It can be Guido, Jack, the principal, Rinka, maybe Sakuya. But that one's a bit iffy. So, out of the 4, we've seen character sprites of 2, being Rinka and Jack. Well, okay. It could also be Leela, right? So, yeah, I still don't have enough information. Yeah, that's her name. Okay. I also forgot her name.
今日はイブだから、みんなはシュロ領の前夜祭だよね。シュウ君は初めてかな？楽しんできてよ。
But Leela doesn't have a sprite. Surprisingly. Okay, then it can't be her. Because this is supposedly a very important thing in the plot for it to be brought up multiple times. It has to be someone with a sprite, and that's why I only brought up Jack and Rinka. She is actually an important person. Okay, if she's so important, then that's probably because she knows that they're in a time loop. Or whatever. She's God. Yeah. Me too.
そうそう、今夜は楽しみにしとけ。
Can't wait. I suddenly remember. Jack is a St. Aria alumnus. I'm steadily getting more and more excited of this Christmas Eve party. Foreshadowing. Okay. What the fuck? Already onto the Chapter 2, Part 3, Noel. Who? Why are we already on to the next part? Christmas! Can you believe it, guys? Christmas! Just a day away. Yeah. What? It's today. It's Tuesday, December 25th. Alright, I'm prepared for some whack shit that's gonna happen. There are no classes, but despite being a weekday, mainly because You gotta be kidding me. They just gave me a fucking they just gave me a thing. I gotta snipping till this shit. Alright. Click yes. Okay, it didn't crash. So, I'm not going to play the voice line because it happened before. Right? We had the same thing before happening. Right? I got another error message, and last time I clicked play, it crashed the game. But this time, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna let it crash on me this time. I forgot to save the image. Hang on, now that I've saved it. Where is it? Here it is. I got this error message, and it's in Japanese. Of course it's in Japanese. I can't read it without actively translating it. So, I guess I will. The specified file YNE 000778 does not exist. Select yes to force the process, or no to cancel. I shouldn't be surprised that's what it is. I shouldn't be surprised that's what the error message says. Anyway, let's get rid of that. And let's save. Actually, you know, save on just in case trying to load the save fucks everything up, right? So just save and then skip past that. It's a special day, not just for students, but for everyone who lives here as well. Let's actually save here. Alright. Okay. Quick save as well. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And although Yune doesn't know yet, I've got a special surprise waiting for her. It definitely feels like Christmas. It's only 9 in the morning, and there's so many people.
大人たちもみんな学院の展示を見に来ますからね。私も去年来てました。
Yeah, it's only 9 in the morning. They're already playing jingle bells. Why does it Christmas bells? Culture festivals are always a fun time. Plus, you get to see your friends and from other schools. Yeah.
タコ?
Other schools. Wait. How did you get schools from schools? Schools, academies. Although, now that I think about it, there's only one academy for kids our age, huh? That's why the fact I transferred in is so weird. There's nowhere to transfer from. Forget I mentioned it.
そろそろ最初のラッパが鳴る頃だな。大通り行ってチラッと見てこようぜ。
Adult students. Okay. The first trumpet. Doesn't the festival start at 9:30?
大通りに楽器が置かれてるのは見てた？クリスマスの日はね、楽団の人たちが時間でラッパを吹くの。
Oh, so they do have people who play instruments. Just not any time other than Christmas. There are no music classes, but there's a band.
音楽なんて大人たちのたしなみだからな。
So then why aren't they taught music? Music theory, music instruments. Why aren't they taught anything music related?
最初のラッパはクリスマス到来の合図になるので、白馬のパレードがあったりするんですよ。
Wow. I kind of want to see that.
じゃあ行こうぜ。すぐ戻ってこれんだろ。
By the time we arrive at Main Street, it's exactly 9 on the dot. Standing on a carpet spread over the street are a group of adults all dressed in matching uniforms, each with a trumpet. This must be the band Yune was telling me about then.
おー、この音聞くとやっぱクリスマスって感じするな。
I hope you heard that. The cacophony that surrounds us is so loud, is so loud enough to rattle anyone's eardrums. Is loud enough to rattle anyone's eardrums, even at a distance. You're saying this happens every year?
楽団の人たちも去年見た方々と同じですね。こんな感じで今日一日で7回くらいラッパが吹かれます。
It was low, but I heard it. I mean, it had to be played over Kyrie's voice and the music.
2度目のラッパはお昼休みの時になるから聞こえたら休憩するといいよ。
Apparently, the trumpets also mark the time, kind of like an alarm. Like my dove alarm that Kyrie destroyed. Trumpets are loud. You could easily hear them from the academy.
それじゃ私はそろそろ準備に行かなくちゃ。
Yeah, but not loud enough to be played over the music. Hear over the music.
私も上映のセットをしてくるぜ。部員たちがやってくれてるから大丈夫だとは思うけどな。私も展示だけですけどチェックしてきます。
Me too. I guess is everyone going off to do their own thing?
また後で合流しよう。私の公演は終わるのちょっと遅いけど。
After deciding on a time and place to meet, we scattered to our designated exhibit spaces. Now then, I've got the classroom to work with. Not just any classroom, but the second year Apple classroom. I wonder why he's working here. Maybe it's because they only had the assets for one classroom's background. The space feels familiar and yet empty with just me. I guess I'll hang my photos on the partition. Is that good enough? I have 12 photos in total, all of places around town. Even I can tell it looks far too blah. If only I had titles or something on my photos. As the thought crosses my mind, I notice the small hand on the classroom clock tick over the half-hour mark. Joke's on you, there is no hands on the clock. Oh. As the school bell rings out, the PA system switches on.
ではこれより第22回聖アレイヤ学院文化祭を開催いたします。皆様どうぞお楽しみください。
You're a bit loud there. You're almost rivaling me in volume. After a brief yet bright welcome, it's finally time for the Culture Festival to begin. So this festival is more like a fun event, I guess. It seems like a big deal for the townsfolk. Something everyone looks forward to and has fun at. From the lively bustling of footsteps echoing from the hallway, they've clearly started letting people in. I wonder if anyone will come. Just as I begin worrying, a couple of students wearing uniforms I had never seen before step through the door.
君がもしかして外からやってきたっていう転入生か？
No. That's right.
すっごい本当だったんだ。これ写真って？
なんか普通の写真っぽいけど。
I took photos of places around town that I found weird or amusing when I first arrived here. For example, kids I'd never seen before began pouring into the classroom. As if they all somehow knew I was that mysterious boy from the outside. Although my photos are nothing to write home about, everyone seems completely delighted by the fact that I took them. Technically speaking, they're nothing special. Thanks to word of mouth, my tiny display is somehow managing to draw a huge crowd. It's kind of a relief. Ooh, I didn't expect to be that popular. Since there wasn't much of me, much for me to do besides stand around, I quickly found myself overwhelmed by a deluge of questions about the outside world. With Sister Lily's warning in mind, there unfortunately wasn't much I could say in response. However, even the vague answers I gave did nothing to dry up their flood of questions. It's almost afternoon. Sakuya will be waiting for me. I promised to meet with Sakuya, who had a similar display booth in front of the school at noon. Noon. We'll probably head straight to the cafeteria.
Ah, senpai.
What a transition. I spot Sakuya waiting for me at the entrance. Sorry for taking so long.
罰金です。
You said a lot more in the text box than you actually said. That seems harsh.
展示はどうでしたか？
It was packed. Unexpectedly so.
だから言ったじゃないですか。シオ先輩のブランドはすごいんです。
I don't think love is the right term. I think knows is better. They're intrigued by me, at least. More specifically, by my outsiderness. There's no hiding the fact that I come from a different world. How did your display go? You had a bunch of different outfits, right?
小さい子なんかがいっぱい来てくれました。可愛かったです。
She had a fitting area set up, encouraging kids to try on her clothes and strut around. Is it okay if we just leave?
友達に留守番を頼んできましたので大丈夫です。
She flashes me a smile, and suddenly, from far off in the distance, I hear a loud noise. Oh, are those the trumpets from earlier?
2度目のラッパーですね。12時の合図です。
They marked the beginning of lunch. I guess that's why she told us to meet at noon. You feel ominous? Yes, very much so.
あ、ちょっと待ってくださいね。もうすぐ来るはずですから。
I'm waiting for shit to hit the fan. Sure. She calls to me over her shoulder as she rushes off, not waiting for my reply.
ごめんお待たせ。
That was a bit loud.
たちの悪いご老人に捕まってな。
And that was a bit quiet. Okay, this is... I... That's not what I meant to do. Thank God there was a confirmation box. Hang on. Kotaha,
アメージンググレイス。
Giro...
一戦交えよう。下手な言葉を交わすより友愛が深む。
Hey, you two. Kotaha and Giro amble over with Sakuya. I know they were only showing their paintings and sculptures, but I didn't realize they'd have free time.
お昼だけ一緒に行く約束をしてました。
Click Kyrie.
アメージングいいかな。
Of course not. Let's go.
それじゃあ出るか。
With that said, the four of us start heading toward the front gate. Wait, we're leaving school grounds?
学校に食べ物はありませんし。
I see. When I think of culture festivals, there's usually plenty of food stalls. To be fair, the only thing that students here are good at is fine arts. More like fine farts. I mean,
それに先輩、今日はクリスマスですよ。商店街に行かないと損です。
if you say so. Wow, there's so many people. The shopping district is usually bustling, but today it's especially crowded.
こんなに賑やかなのもクリスマスくらいですね。びっくりするよね、最初は。
That's the understatement of the year. Still, the sheer number of people reminds me of something. But what? As always, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Regardless, I've never seen a crowd this large in town before.
今日はどこの屋台に行っても全品一類んだ。シュウの好きなものを食べていいぞ。
Wait, only one ruin?
クリスマスだからね。
This is the true meaning of take what you want for $1. This is so bizarre. I always think of Christmas as the most profitable time of year. Well, yeah, that's why they're able to sell at one ruin. Because they'll make a profit no matter what. This isn't some elaborate joke, right?
まさか私がシュウ君を騙すなんて。
You've done so many times before.
大丈夫ですよ。これも商店街の伝統ですから。
ただどこに行っても並ぶけどな。
It sounds truly amazing, though. Like Amazing Grace? Oh, never mind. You know what? Grace is the muralist. We each scatter to our favorite vendors, buying enough food to share with everyone. Ooh, I finally got my food. Just stop. Yeah, but fine.
激混みでしたね。
The bustling and cheerful atmosphere reminds me of a festival, aside from the Christmas decorations.
先輩は何を？
Well, we ate some yesterday, but to me, it's not Christmas without fried chicken. What about you? Oh my god. They actually just... See, there isn't a KFC, so they just had to settle with fried chicken.
私はジャガバターです。ホクホクです。
It does look pretty toasty.
クレープを買ってきたんだけど、デザートに食べましょう。
What did you get, Guido?
おでん。
Okay.
嫌いじゃないですけど、なんか合わない感じ。あれ？あそこにいるのは。
ん？ I spy a familiar nun's habit. He's got a gigantic hamburger in one hand, sneaking small bites when no one's looking. Damn. Sister Lily? You know what, Sister Lily? You've been bumped up. You're close to you're closer to 4th place than ever before. Oops. Sorry. She chokes on her burger, surprised by my voice.
シュウさん、 のですか？
I'm not doing anything in particular, mainly just enjoying the ambience and eating my KFC that isn't KFC, it's just fried chicken.
ああ、ハンバーガーです。
The Lily's burger is so big, anyone would have difficulty taking a bite out of it.
ほう。美味しそうですね。
どうしたのですか皆さん揃って。そんなジロジロと。
Your burger just looks so delicious. Sister Lily's cheeks are bright red.
屋台のチーズバーガーってそんなに大きかったですっけ？
それはよく行くお店なので多少おまけを。
Damn, she seems uncharacteristically evasive.
できればその見なかったことに。
Well, you know, you've gotten away with it so many times you became a regular, so it was an eventuality. She seems embarrassed, although I don't know why, because she's trying to keep up the act of looking refined, all right, and having a giant ass burger in her mouth does not make her look ladylike.
よければご一緒しませんか？持ち場に戻るまでですが。
ありがとうございます。ですがこの後も見回りがあるので大丈夫ですよ。
You never get a break, huh? As a teacher, she's in charge of supervising school events. As students, we take her presence for granted, but it must be pretty exhausting. Thinking about everything she does for us. Lunch is over before I know it. I can't believe Guido made this.
私も今日になって初めて見たよ。またとんでもないものを作ったね。
Monstrosities. Okay. It's breathtaking. I knew he specialized in wood carving, but I could have never imagined something like this. It's the face of a sobbing man. Surrounding it are countless arms reaching out to him. No neck or torso, just the face and a legion of floating arms. The expression of utter despair on his face is so grotesquely detailed, you can almost hear him wailing in pain. Yeah, but like, you gonna show it?
名前は？
It's called The Crying Man. Audi? That's a car. And... Oh? Yeah.
Nageki.
Of course, it's called Grief. Guido answers a question with one simple word. As we stand in front of his sculpture, I notice a steady stream of folks coming and going.
それよりも俺は早く琴葉の絵が見たい。先生からも随分と叱られたそうじゃないか。
おかげさまでね。結局テーマは曲げなかったけど、タイトルの発表は禁止にされちゃった。
Nothing they're saying makes any sense to an innocent bystander like myself. Deciding whatever they're talking about is beyond me. I head back to my display space. Oof. Looks like they're finally all gone. By the time 3 rolled around, the crowd of folks drawn by curiosity to my photos had thinned out. Honestly, being spoke that so openly was easier for me to deal with. Suddenly,
大将やってる
Kyrie jump scare.
お邪魔します
Hey, you two. Welcome. Are you allowed to be here?
次の公演は5時だし切り絵の上映も今終わったばかりだからしかし少ねえな写真なんか普通の景色ばっかだし
I know it looks like nothing special to all of you, but they're all very meaningful to me. Of course, there's a shot of the aurora, and one of a carriage passing in front of the chapel. With my memories still missing in action, I had to rely on my instincts to figure out what was actually unusual.
でもお昼はすごい人だったって聞いたよ
Yeah, but like, you gonna show the photos? Yeah. Somehow, a lot of people stopped by. How did you two do?
大盛況だ満席も満席だぜ人がたくさんで緊張しっぱなしだったよ
It seems like everything's going well, at least. At least, which I'm glad to hear.
次の上映は見に来いよ
You know, I'd love to, but I can't miss Yune's recital either.
いいよいいよ私の歌なんて週は練習でいっぱい聴いてるでしょ
But this is the actual performance.
ユネもこう言ってるんだから来いよ第4アトリエだからなわかったか
Remind me again, it's a superhero flick, right? Kyrie ultimately had to scrap her original script due to the lacking of a leading male actor. So instead, she filmed her own take on the superhero genre.
ちょい
ん？
で映画終わったら例のあれの準備すっから
Okay, got it.
何の話
Nothing. Really, forget about it.
そうそう週のデベソが肥大化しすぎて着る服ねって話
What? You just say the first thing that pops into your head, huh?
まあいいけど次は幼児のところでも行ってこよっかな
What?
私も行くぜじゃあシュ後でな
Kyrie just constantly slandering Shu with every girl. With that, the two vanish into the hallway. With my few photos in my gallery, it doesn't take long to go through them all. In his birthday party, I've been trying my best not to ruin the surprise. I like the insults. Okay. But they're not insults. I guess. In the general sense. In the common sense. While checking to make sure my gifts were where I left it, I plan out how I'm going to give it to her. I head to Main Street in search of drinks, and arrive just in time to hear the third sounding of the trumpets. I check the time and see it's 4 on the dot. Culture Festival goes until 6, meaning the best part's almost here. I'll go check in with Yuji and Sakuya, and then Kirie's movie starts at 5. Sounds like my schedule's packed. Still, I'm really enjoying seeing everyone's work, especially knowing how much blood, sweat, and tears went into them. Wait, what did he check for? What did he check for the time? Good question. I wasn't gonna talk about it. Okay. Most of the artwork I've seen Could give the painting in the gallery a run for their money. Paintings in the gallery. Oh, and the background behind each piece makes the festival so much more interesting. There seems to be a lot of commotion coming from a large crowd in front of the vending machine. It doesn't feel like the usual festival banter, though. Did something happen? As I'm feeling more anxious by the minute, the object in question suddenly leaps out toward me. Whoa! It seems to come out of nowhere. A horse jumps out from the throng in front of me before galloping away. Goodbye, 5 years of my life.
どうやら馬小屋の馬が逃げ出したようですね。
What do you mean? What does he mean 5 years? It's just a lily? How did this happen?
理由はわかりませんが、一頭だけでもないようです。向こうでもパレードに使われた白馬が興奮した様子で暴れていました。
Isn't that really dangerous?
ええ、非常に危険です。学校に戻ることを推奨します。他の皆さんにも大通りへ出ないようにとお伝えいただけますか？
The sun? Yes, something like that. No problem. It looks like this wasn't a planned part of the parade, but a freak accident. A deliberate accident. I guess that kind of thing can happen. I'd better warn everyone. It's better to leave the horse catching to the pros. There's no way I can catch a runaway horse on my own. This is the start of hell. Okay. This is where shit hits the fan. What the fuck is that? Ah, it's...
こうして悪は去った。正義のヒーロー、コトレンジャーは正義のために明日も戦う。
It's Kyrie's film. A fucking Power Rangers knockoff. But like, are you gonna show it? I guess not. The curtain comes down on a truly amazing ending.
衝撃的な展開だったな。
Seriously? I still can't believe Koto Red was a spy the whole time. Bro. Okay. Did that scare you? No, I just thought it was part of the shit hitting the fan. The fact that Kotoha was basically the only actress in Kyrie's film, the Koto Ranger Beauty Squad, was made very apparent very quickly. There was only ever 1 out of the 5 beautiful babes on screen at a time, probably due to Kyrie's lack of post-production know-how and lack of computers to allow for CG.
いやー、みんなの週ご視聴ありがとう。次のイースターまでに新作を撮るからそっちもよろしく。
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely gonna Easter's definitely gonna happen. Kyrie standing by the exit collecting ticket stubs and hearing people's thoughts on her film.
え？ことね？知らね、今はいねえよ。監督じゃなくて女優に会いたい？なんでだよ。キャスティングしたのも私だぞ。
Yeah, but like you're not the one who acted.
感想は？コトピンクが可愛い。そんなのより爆発シーンを見ろって。
みんな琴葉さんのことしか言ってないぞ。
Considering she was the only actress to it makes sense she'd leave the biggest impression. Yeah, all of them want to send death threats to Red Koto, who is Kotoha. But there was the spunky leader Koto Red, the cool Koto Blue, the always hungry Koto Yellow, and the mysterious villain Koto Black. I found myself charmed by her ability to wear so many different masks so convincingly throughout the film. She's definitely got herself a new fan. But what happened to Koto Pink? They just... Kierya just talked about Koto Pink and Shu didn't say anything about Koto Pink. Ah, there's Koto Pink. Hang on. I need to go back. Yeah, Koto Red, Blue, Yellow, Black. Okay. She was especially cute as Koto Pink and Koto Yellow, a side of her I don't usually see in real life. I mean, considering that the Pink and Yellow Power Rangers are usually female characters, I can see that. Also, those skin-tight latex outfits left nothing to the imagination. I mean, considering that she, never mind. She did some things with Shu that cannot be shown in the all-ages version. In short, Kotoha is a cinematic siren.
これで最後の上映も無事終了だ。
お疲れさん。飲むか？
サンキュー。
Yuji hands Kierya a can of juice, which she gulps down with relish. What did she do to Shu? Nude modeling. After a long semester of work, there's an elegance to the way she tosses it back.
どうだった？
It was entertaining, although I feel pretty bad for Kotoha. I just hope Kierya didn't work her to the point where her own art piece suffered. Kotoha didn't say anything earlier, at least.
コトハさんもよく出てくれるよな。
まあな、ことねえは私のファンだから。
本当かよ。
いい監督にはいい女優がついてくんだよ。
I think she just enables you. Whether or not she truly is a fan, there's no denying the special bond they share. At the very least, it's a possibility.
んで、どいつもこいつもことねえのことばっかだけど、爆発シーンはどうだ？
You only filmed a superhero flick because they usually have a ton of explosions, huh?
でもよ、シュウ。キリエの映画はラブロマンスでも平気で爆発するぜ。
I mean, you know, this romance visual novel technically has a ton of explosions. Good point.
大怪獣コトゴンをやっつけるシーンなんか鳥肌もんだろ。
コトゴン可愛かったな。
True.
爆発は？
They were a lot less cute. What the hell put herself in the line of fire for this film? She really is an amazing actress.
今年のアレイア賞はコトレンジャーで決まりだ。今のうちに受賞コメント考えとかねえとな。
Do they announce the winner of the Aria Trophy right away? Listen, with what I think is going to happen, I don't think you're going to be able to... I don't think you'll be able to find... I don't think we'll find out who the winner is. Am I right in that assumption?
先生たちが協議したりして決めるから発表はあさってになる。明日は休みだしな。
I see. What do you think is going to happen? Good question. I think shit's gonna hit the fan either before Yune's birthday party or during it.
だとことね、そしてギド。
Regardless, you should be proud of your film. Sorry I couldn't help. Or at the end of the day. How? I don't know. Thinking about it, I know I could never make anything like what she did. Despite her over-the-top goofiness, it's clear how passionate she is about making movies and how much it means to her.
次のは主演で決定だからな。体鍛えとけよ。
Right? Like, best case scenario, at the end of the day, it just loops to the end of last month, right? Good luck, buddy. Don't die. Okay. My anxiety suddenly intensifies. Yeah, my anxiety is also intensifying.
そういや、今回も例のファンから差し入れはあったのかよ。
Look, as long as there's no nipples shown, alright?
あったぜ。いつもながら寝室鬼没だったけどな。
Your fan club?
前に言わんかったっけ？私の隠れファンのこと。
Oh, right. Your suspiciously enigmatic fans. They really exist?
事実に決まってんだろ。ほら見ろ。
Candy, juice. What the heck is this? It looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
ぶっ壊す用の小道具に決まってんだろ。私のためにわざわざ作ってくれたんだ。
Huh? You're gonna destroy this? But it looks like they spent so much time on it.
今回のコトレンジャーでもこの隠れファンにもらった小道具をいくつか爆破してる。これはその演出に対するアンサーだ。
I mean, to be fair, I think they want their things to be exploded by Kyrie. I think all of her fans want their balls to be exploded by Kyrie. I mean, what? Let's move on. I know you do, Dexter. It seems like Kyrie's talk about having die-hard fans wasn't baloney after all. Even so, do you have any idea who these fans of yours are?
わからん。いつも差し入れだけがポンと置かれてるからな。照れ屋なんだろ。
That's sus. Why don't they want to talk to you?
すげえ丁寧な仕事してるのは確かだけどな。さすがの私も血と両親が痛むけど、それがファンの望みなんだ。
でもこんな凝った人形を作れる人ってなかなかいないよな。実は名のある芸術家だったりして。
でも多分うちの学生だと思うぜ。展覧会の時にも来るし。
Considering the level of craftsmanship they must have, they must be a third year student.
琴葉さんはそもそも出演者だしな。
儀道にしたってわざわざ黙って差し入れ置くような真似しねえだろう。
So it's Rinka? I don't know. So true. Who's the mysterious gifter then? A student eccentric enough to use their talent to make props for Kyrie's action films. But if she has a fan, that means there are people out there who love her incendiary adoration for explosions.
誰かわかんなくても私は嬉しいぞ。これで次も制作するモチベーションが上がるってもんだ。
That's all that matters. Suddenly.
18時です。ただいまをもちまして第22回聖アレア学院文化祭を終了といたします。皆さん速やかに片付けへ移行してください。
Over already? Time sure flies, huh?
でもこれで終わりじゃないぜシュウ。むしろ本番はここからだ。
Fuck off with the here we go. Oh, right. The after party. The Academy Culture Festival is more like an exhibition than an actual fair. The after party gives the students a chance to let loose and have fun, and have some fun, or so I heard. What do we do now?
まあ今の放送でも言われてたけど、基本みんなまずは片付けだな。それが終わったら高野菜に繰り出す。
俺たちせっかくここにいるし、パーティーの準備をしてから片付けにしようぜ。
Sure. So the plan is to have fun at the party, and then around 10 invite Yune back here. Back here?
んだな。ちゃんとプレゼントは用意したか？
当たり前だぜ。じゃ、飾り付けでもするか。
Where is Yune anyway? It's not like her to be late.
ユネは多分片付けも時間かかんねえから、もうツリー行ってんじゃねえかな。
The tree? The Christmas tree. Come to think of it, I hadn't been back since the ornament incident. She's probably decorating the tree for Christmas. I guess she lost her special ornament since it turned into a real apple. I'm sure no one would believe me if I told them.
シュウは初めてだろうけど、みんなツリーに集まってワイワイやるのが高野菜だ。
The demons are coming. Remember in the beginning. I don't remember anything that happened in the beginning, other than the fact that Shu was almost on the brink of death. So it's not just for students. Like, I don't remember what the word, what the words were at the start of the game.
ただ、マジで人ばっかだからな。ユネ祝うだけならこっちでやった方がいいんだ。
That makes sense.
ちょうどいいや。ユネ探しに行くついでに高野菜の様子も見てこいや。
Remember demon infested Dowda, was it? I don't remember. Sounds good. I'm excited to see what the Christmas tree looks like now.
高野菜っつったらツリーで騒ぐのが定番だ。遅れてもいいから楽しんでこいよ。
Despite sharing a day with the culture festival, it's still very much Christmas. Time to go find Yune and check out the Christmas tree. It's so dark out. And there's so many people. Since we're usually in the dorms at this time of night, I'm not used to seeing so many students out and about. You'd never think it was night from the laughter resonating in the dark. Everyone's footsteps sound so light, as if they're dancing. As I walk along, enjoying the sights and sounds.
おら、どこ見て歩いてんだ。
Ow, ow. Sorry. I accidentally bump into another student, swaying drunkenly as he tries not to fall.
ああ、この人、写真展開いてた外の人だ。
You guys again. It's the kids who showed up earlier to see my photos.
こんな顔だったかな。目が4つついてる。
I've only got 2 last I checked. I answered them seriously, even though I'm pretty sure they're joking.
ほんとだ。目が6つついてる。
6つじゃねえよ、8つだよ。
Nah, I've got 10. These kids are talking about me, right? Their conversation is so incoherent, I have no idea what's going on.
変なの。羽も生えてる。
Bro. winks so small no one can see them. The way they talk around here makes it difficult for me to not reply sarcastically. However, these three don't seem to care as they laugh hysterically.
見てほら、あっちに天使がいっぱい降りてるよ。
おお、マジじゃねえか。行くぜ。
With that, the absurdly overstimulated kids rush off. What the fuck just happened? Well, were they really? While they're really annoying, they seem to be having a great time. Maybe that's just the after party vibe. This is shaping up to be a very long night. There's no denying festivities like this are exciting, no matter how old you are. I begin making my way toward the Christmas tree, trying to suppress the urge to skip merrily along. Who should I spot but...
あ、シュウくん、おーい。
Jack? What's wrong? I hear a rather unexpected voice call my name. This is the first time I've seen him outside his shop.
ごめんね、急に。それより、何か知らない？
Yeah, what?
店に来る生徒たちの様子がおかしいんだ。みんなじゃないけど。
He looks pretty concerned. Weird like how?
話しても会話にならなかったり、突然笑い出したり。別に調子が悪そうとかじゃないんだけど。
That sounds like... just like those kids I bumped into.
文化祭が終わってハイになってるのかなと思ったけど、それだけじゃなくて、なんだかありもしない幻覚を見ているみたいなんだよね。
You sure it's hallucinations and not and they're not actually seeing the real world? I just ran into a couple of kids who were acting just like that. Talk about me having 4 or 6 eyes and seeing fallen angels is without a doubt a little out there.
やっぱり変だよね。ただテンションが上がって周りが見えなくなってる風じゃない。なんかドラッグでも使ったみたいな。
Yeah, you don't say. Hearing his disquieting observation, an image of the 3 kids flashes in my mind. Now that I think about it, they did seem pretty high. They weren't like that earlier today.
嫌だな。なんだか今年のクリスマスは縁起が悪いね。馬が暴れたりもしてたみたいだし。
I mean, you know, the owl is a nocturnal bird, so maybe they start seeing shit at nighttime, but they're normal in the day. Maybe folks are just getting a little too into the holiday spirit. I don't want to badmouth another town's traditions, but you can't run around doing whatever you want just because it's a holiday.
まあいいや。僕もそろそろお店に戻らなくちゃいけないし、学生たちに事情を聞いてみるよ。
Okay, this is my first after party, so I'm going to check out the Christmas tree.
いってらっしゃい。僕も学生の頃は高野菜の方が楽しみだったな。
Finally. Wow. Arriving at my destination, just inside the forest, I'm instantly struck by how different the tree looks. It's amazing. The once subdued and almost desolate tree is covered in colorful ornaments and lights, sparkling brilliantly against the night sky. A crowd of smiling folks engaged in cheerful conversation around it only makes it seem more magical.
あ、シュウだ。
Yune, whoa, the tree is gorgeous.
そう毎年こうなんだよ。
The area around the tree seems as bright as day. I realize it's not just due to the lights twined through the tree's branches. There's a bonfire too.
ここだけお昼みたいだよね。
It feels very festive and merry. While most of the people around the bonfire are kids in various school uniforms, the crowd gathered around the tree ranges from toddlers to adults. They're not wearing St. Aria Academy uniforms, so I assume they're all Civetta students. Aren't you worried the tree might catch on fire?
大丈夫じゃない？向こうに水の入ったバケツあるし。
Yeah, like a few buckets of water is gonna stop a big-ass tree from being from catching on fire. It still doesn't seem that safe to me, but I guess the only thing you can do is be careful. The lack of teachers only makes me more anxious.
いつもだったらツリーに私の飾りがあるんだけど。
But this year it turned into a real apple. All it decorated was our stomachs, I guess. My mind keeps replaying the events of that night. The students here seem fine, at least.
何が？
Oh, it's nothing. While I was walking here, I ran into some kids who were acting really bizarre. I explained what happened to Yune.
確かに嫌な感じ。でもそういうのって一部の良くない子たちだけだと思うから。
That's what I think. We shouldn't be worrying about that kind of stuff on Christmas anyway.
シュウもジュース飲む？飲むならもらってくるよ。
Why not? Kyrie did tell me to enjoy myself at the party.
そうなんだ。あ、キリエといえば映画見た？
It was definitely one of the movies of all time. We settle ourselves in front of the gorgeous Christmas tree, chatting pleasantly with the other students. The trumpets. You can hear them even all the way out here.
今のは6回目のラッパかな。もう8時なんだ。
I glance at my watch and see it's 8 on the dot. Wait, here's a watch? I don't remember that plot point. The trumpets have been sounding off at regular intervals since 9 in the morning. Yune's party doesn't start until 10, so I have to stall her a little longer. Party's just as lively as Kyrie said, if not more so. Being the resident outsider, I soon find myself surrounded by a small crowd of curious townsfolk. These people I've never seen before seem flabbergasted by my very existence.
そういえばキリエとか幼児はどうしたんだろう。みんなこっち来てないよね。
I think they're still busy tidying up their exhibit spaces. At this point, they should be busy setting up Yune's party at the atelier. Speaking of which, I'll need to get Yune back to the school at some point. Suddenly, everything starts shaking. The shaking is so sudden and strong that even the merrymakers notice, and an air of worry spreads through the crowd. It's over.
くりした。地震なんてめったに来ないのに。
The drink spilled everywhere. I'm more worried about the bonfire, but the shaking died down before it could tip over. My thoughts turned to the dorm in my room. Not like I have anything to worry about in there. The clock strikes 9 while we busy ourselves cleaning up the mess from the earthquake. We should start heading back. Hey, Yune, we gotta get back to the school.
学校？どうして？
Kyrie and Kotaha told me to meet them there at 10. I figured you'd want to come too.
行く行く。今日の夜は長いからね。私も12時過ぎても起きてるよ。
I can't tell her we have a party planned for her birthday, and not yet. It's a surprise party after all. Shall we go?
夜風が気持ちいいね。
Bro, there's just all these tiny little things that that are occurring that shouldn't be, that will all lead into one giant big fuck off thing. Like, bro, I get that something's gonna happen. Just hurry up and get to it. Good luck. The tension is palpable. I know, right? It's much more peaceful than around the tree, too.
そうかも。クリスマスはどこも賑やかだけど、ツリーは別格。
Everything is so lively, it doesn't feel like night. I'm surprised by Yune's willingness to join me in the festivities, knowing her preference for quiet spaces. Yeah, but she's got a preference for you.
騒がしいのは嫌いだけど、みんなで騒ぐのは好きだよ。
It was as if she read my mind. She knows me so well. Or she knows they're in a time loop. Never mind. I'm gonna wait. I'm holding off on my on what's gonna happen.
クリスマスの日ってやっぱりみんな楽しそうにしてる。私も楽しい。一年で一番好きな日だな。
He seems to be speaking to the twinkling stars strewn across the night sky. It sounds like she wants to get something off her chest, so I walk beside her silently listening.
そりゃ制作がうまくいかなかった人だっていて、私もそんな経験あるけど、それでも特別な日っていうのには変わりなくて。去年は私も歌をやるって決まってなかったから頑張って絵を描いて、そしたらやっぱりあんまり評判も良くなくて。
It happened to you too, huh?
あったよ。言ったでしょ。初めてのチャレンジだったって。でも絵が評価されないのは自分でも納得できてて、本当に私のことを表現できた気がしなかったから。
That's when she embraced music as her medium of choice. Everyone is desperately searching for their own unique glow, a way they can shine in the night sky.
でもそんな時誰だったかな。私の歌を芸術として認めてくれた先生がいて、すごく救われた気になったの。
It wasn't Sister Lily. You met them at just the right time.
うん。だから今の私があるし、それにそれまで悩んできたことだってうまく言えないけど思い出だよ。無駄なんかじゃなかった。サンタさんだってさ、夢見ること自体に意味があるみたいな。
Yeah, I'm Santa. See the hat? Countless stars are spread out above us. My eyes sweep along the path Santa Claus would take in his legendary sleigh. You love this town, don't you, Yune?
好き。うん、そうかも。 あの時はうまく答えられなかったけど。
Does everyone like living here?
好きっていうのもピンとこないかな。私たちは他の世界を知らないし。
This was a while ago too. I remember asking Yune that once. At the time, whether she liked the world she lived in or not probably never crossed her mind. But now...
私はまだ外の世界を知らないし、知っちゃダメなんだけど、シュウが来てくれたおかげで考えることも多くなったな。
Although I still can't remember anything, I like this town because of everyone here.
それもちょっと嬉しいかも。でもこの話したのってシュウと初対面の時だから、もう1ヶ月くらい前なんだ。
Time really flies. It seems like only yesterday. Stop, man. It's already been a month since I awoke next to Onento Lake, met Yune, and began attending classes at the St. Aria Academy. Barely a grain of sand in the hourglass of time. Well, you might the hourglass of time might be a bit smaller than you think. Yet, no matter how short the time I've spent here, is priceless to me.
もしかしたら。
It seems like we both were struck by the same thought at the same time.
シュウって名前のサンタさんがこの町に来るはずの恵みだったのかな。
Blessing? When has she mentioned that before?
うん。アメイジング・グレイス。
Oh, like the title of the game. Oh, no, she said the name. She did the. It's the wish Yune made under the tree. What colors are your attribute? I also. What color is your I forgot. I forgot the subtitle. Okay. She prayed that the town would be blessed by amazing grace. Miraculous blessing that spared this town alone from apocalyptic destruction.
これからもずっとこんな毎日が続けばいいのにな。
Well, you know, you may be getting your wish sooner than later. The sound of trumpets blasts out for the final time, marking the time as 10. May things stay this way now and forever. It's such a sincere and heartfelt prayer. Surely God would grant her wish, right? Yeah, that's the problem. Well, God moves in mysterious ways.
私じゃない。どこか遠くで音がした。
It's more than a sound. I can feel the ground rumbling disjointly under my feet. The trumpets again? Or not?
ごめんシュウ、ちょっと静かに。
She cups her hand to her ear. I'm well aware of how acute her hearing is, especially after witnessing it for myself. She focuses intently, trying to figure out the origin of the rapidly fading vibrations.
これチベッタ？
Mean the school everyone attends before St. Aria?
うん、第一チベッタ。私がいたとこの方から聞こえてきたような。
Yune is growing more anxious by the moment. Yeah, me too. Her old school. Of course she'd feel scared hearing such an ominous sound coming from its direction. Should we go check it out?
うん。
in agreement, we start heading in the direction of Sveta. It didn't stop there.
また
It came from over there.
さっきより近い。今度は学校の方だよ。
She's racing off before I can stop her. I'm right behind her an instant later. When we arrived, I'm faced with something truly unbelievable. Fire and brimstone! The night sky is ablaze with light reminiscent of the bonfire from earlier. Animation in the background? I can't believe this. When I hear a crackling reminiscent of fireworks, I understand the enormity of the situation.
何これ
Bro, this is God of War shit. Everything's burning. It's the simplest and most obvious description that my mind can come up with. Raging flames engulf everything from the gate of the courtyard to the school itself. The flames surrounding the scorched shell of the school illuminate our surroundings as clear as day. But that's not all.
これ雪
She holds her hand, palm up toward the sky. Tiny white flecks flutter through the air, falling down from the heavens like snow.
あれ溶けない
This isn't snow. Substance that looks so much like snow simply piles up in my hand, unmelting. It's not snow, but I don't know what it is. It stopped. I'm struck by the sharp contrast between the tumbling snowflakes and the fierce blaze. I quickly snap out of it, realizing this isn't the time or place. A fire? It can't be. How could something like this be happening? My mind tried to understand how the school could be on fire when everything had been fine seemingly moments before. The smell, it's so familiar. I catch a familiar scent mixed in with the smoke. I don't have time to figure it out. I don't have time to figure it out though.
シュユネ
Yuji! Just then, Yuji comes flying out from the front gate toward us.
大丈夫
ああ平気だけど他の奴らはわかんね
We just got here. This fire. How did this happen?
え余裕もないから結論から言うが知らねえ何もわかんねえただどでかい音がして飛び出てみたらこのありさまだ
Even Yuji, who'd been on the scene, is as lost as we are. To be fair, the academy campus is pretty large. Assuming Yuji was in the atelier, the source of the explosion must have come from somewhere else. Where are Kiria and the others?
キリエもサクヤも琴葉さんもギド先輩もみんなたまたまアトリエから出てた時だったんだ
What? Everyone was supposed to be here. Get ready for Yune's surprise birthday party. If this is no time for celebration, unfortunately, not with things looking like this.
くそよりによってこんな日になんだってんだ
待ってじゃあ昨夜たちはまだ中にいるってこと
キリエは一旦寮に戻るっつってた昨夜は商店街に行くって先輩たちはわからねえ
This is we're trying to take stock of the situation. Seriously? Not again.
商店街
We should go after her. He instantly pinpointed the location based on the sound alone. I've never seen Yune so freaked out, and it breaks my heart to see it. It's happening here too. We stand in stunned silence at the entrance of the shopping district engulfed in flames so fierce there's no way we can get any closer. Yeah, they're so fierce, they're actually animated. There's more white flecks here too. White flecks of what appears to be snow drift lazily down through the air, just like at the school. A moment later, they vanish just like before.
Sakuya!
Wait, if Sakuya was here, she'd have run out by now. It's too dangerous to go in. Although the shopping district's much smaller than the academy, the damage is just as great. Blaze here is far more deadly than at the school. Our survival instincts stopping us from getting any closer. The night breeze agitates the flames, causing dense smoke to billow up as the wave of intense heat washes over us. The sign for Yune's favorite donut shop is charred husk. There's a charred husk on the ground. Sakuya's favorite thrift store is lost in the sea of flames. Although I can't see it, I'm sure Kyrie's diaper store is nothing more than ash and rubble. Shoot, this isn't a time for jokes. The district is oddly empty. The burned out shell of shops collapsing in on themselves. The hellish world on the other side of the shimmering curtain of flames doesn't seem real.
店が
行くなユネ、本気で死ぬぞ。
That's when I realize my entire body is shaking. I've never been this close to flames large enough to swallow a man whole. I have. What? Why is my body shaking? In fear? And, like any animal, has a natural fear of fire. It's clear Yune and Yuji aren't thinking straight as we attempt to calm ourselves down.
また
No. I have a bad feeling about where the last blast came from. I turn to Yune, but before I can speak,
嘘
from the look on her face, I know things are going from bad to worse. We arrive in the very center of the main street, which faces the dormitories. Everything looks the same here as everywhere else. The dorms. Not only are the dorms on fire, but the force of the explosion leveled part of the building. The black smoke billowing up into the sky warns that this disaster is far from over. The school, the dorms, the shopping district. What's going on? The attacks seem so random. Except that they don't seem so random. They seem to be exactly where your friends are. Yet, everything is burning. Most disturbing part of it all is that we always seem to be at the epicenter of the blasts.
そろそろ逃げなくちゃダメだ。俺たちも危ない。
Yeah, you're right. We're not the only ones shocked and confused. As we stand in the street, we're being passed by students fleeing the burning schools and dormitories.
待って寮にはキリエがいるんだよね
Oh, right. In that case,
待てよ二人とも。みんな寮から逃げてきてるのが見えるだろ。キリエだっていつまでも部屋にはいないはずだ。
he's right. With fires this large, there's bound to be casualties. But Kyrie would have been out of there in a flash. It's times like this that makes me wish I had a cell phone or two. It's a dull reminder at the worst of times that I'm still very much an outsider.
じゃあどうするの
We need to look for Kyrie, along with Sakuya and the rest of them. It's too dangerous for us to enter any buildings, though.
なんで何が起こってるの
I don't have an answer for her. Judy stops a couple people running past, but everyone seems just as lost and confused as we are. Yuji, is there an evacuation area we're supposed to go to during an emergency? Everyone, including me, is in a state of panic confusion. My first thought is to head toward wherever the designated emergency evacuation area is. However,
いやない。
what do you mean? Doesn't every town have one? I'm suddenly gripped with uneasiness. I have to stop thinking like an outsider.
強いて言うなら森とかか。ああ、でも火が燃え移ると危ないな。
Where can we go? How do we deal with such an unexpected disaster in the first place? I suddenly realize far too late that everything I've taken for granted in life is gone. My few remaining views of the world run parallel to how the people here think. I've learned that lesson countless times. You've never had something like this happen before? Nothing bizarre or unexpected?
いや、こんなのは初めてだ。
Oh, there's no emergency plans or anything.
わからねえ。こんなこと誰も考えたことなかっただろうし。
Bro, what the fuck is going on? You weren't kidding when you said get ready for hell, but like, still, I was not expecting Kyrie explosions all over the town. In other words, aren't you worried the tree might catch on fire?
大丈夫じゃない？向こうに水の入ったバケツあるし。
The people who live here, they can't even imagine disaster striking. Under duress, it's the simplest explanation I can come up with. This isn't the time to try and figure out a reason. Perhaps there's a logical explanation, perhaps not. Why did the music go quiet? Like, extremely quiet. Either way, we're still trapped in a dire situation with idea what move to make next. But with no idea. Yuji made it very clear it wasn't that he didn't know the emergency plan, but that it didn't exist at all.
湖。
What? That simple spoken so quietly, very clearly. That simple spoken so quietly, very clearly, yet clearly, breaks me out of my panicked thoughts.
オンネ島まで行こう。あそこならここからも遠いし、今は風上だから。
Yune,
ごめん。ちょっと取り乱してた。しっかりしなくちゃダメだよね。
even faced with such an undreamed of catastrophe, Yune is still trying to look out for us. Slaps her cheeks briskly with both hands, as if trying to calm herself down.
暑いな。夢じゃないんだもんね。これ。
悪夢みてえだけどな。
I'd do anything to wake up. After spending the past month here in this town, it's impossible for me to view the surrounding blaze as just a fire. For a month, I've lived under the delusion that this is a peaceful town where nothing bad happens. I viewed the town as existing in a magical safe zone with no clear basis for that mistaken belief.
逃げよう。ここにいたら私たちまで燃えちゃう。
It's true. We can look for Kyrie and the others while we make our way to the forest. It'll take us an hour to walk to Aneto. The distance usually so inconvenient is a blessing right now.
まずい。馬小屋の馬が暴れてる。カニのおじさんどこ行っちまったんだ。
likely sensing their lives are in danger. The donkeys are in a state of frenzied panic, trying to escape. Although it makes sense, my mind flashes back to the panicked horses early in the day.
どうしよう。お馬さんたち話してもいいのかな。
いや、やめた方がいいな。もっとパニックになる。
でも
今は自分たちの安全を考えよう。あの馬たちが火だるまになって突っ込んでくる可能性だってゼロじゃないんだ。
Okay, so either the person who scared the horses before did it so that no one would be able to escape on a carriage, or they scared the horses so that they could escape before all hell breaks loose. Pun intended. It seems cruel, but Yuji has a point. This is an emergency, judging by everyone's reactions. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Sometimes you have to put yourself first. We're almost at the forest. From what I can tell, everyone seems to be running this way. Throngs of folks running past us on the main street are currently flowing in this direction. It must seem like a safe space because it's set back from town. The tree should be just up ahead. And if we continue, we'll eventually arrive to Adoneto. Right now, our priority is to put space between the fire and ourselves. We'll figure the rest out later. That was the plan until... Fucking what the fuck?
嘘だろ。
The blast is so close that it's no question where it originated, filling us with hopeless dread. As we're pelted by a blast of hot air, that's definitely some sort of shockwave. The Christmas tree Yune and I were laughing under the seemingly moments of before is now adorned in brightly burning red flames. The fierceness of the blaze puts the bonfire to shame. This is insanity. We quickly find ourselves surrounded on all sides by towering walls of flame. My mind suddenly flashes to the crowds of people who've been gathered around the tree. Oh shit. Yune shuts her eyes and as she cries out soundlessly. Honestly, I can't blame her. Mass pandemonium spreads out under the tree. In front of us, agonized shrieks filling the air.
向こうに水の入ったバケツがあるから。
On it. We'll use it to douse the people on fire. We run to the buckets filled with water meant for the bonfire and begin pouring them over the groups of burning people. We rush in desperately, unsure how best to help people, but doing whatever we can. There are kids we know within the massive bodies, and we do what we can to reassure them.
みんな大通りへ逃げて。あそこならまだ火が来てないから。
We've run out of water. There's not nearly enough here to put out all the fires.
戻るっきゃねえか、俺たちも。
I have no idea what the right thing to do is. Should we run away? Stay back? Or is the situation too far gone to do anything? All I know is that if we choose wrong, we'll up burnt to a crisp. Okay. Like these people. A crowd of people is gathered at the entrance to this forest. Everyone's trying to escape from the fires, doing everything that they can to survive. But there's no way out of this town. The Aurora, the towering crystal wall, the precipice, precipitous cliff looks down on us. like some towering Buddha, almost like it's mocking us. If we keep moving this way,
今は不謹慎とか言ってる場合じゃねえか。
we don't have time to worry about following the rules. Our only way out of this current situation is over the Aurora. There's even more people than earlier. It seems like they all returned here. This isn't the time for celebration. The shopping district, the dormitories, the forest, and the schools are all engulfed in a vortex of fire. Thank you, Yune, for mentioning those water buckets to me.
うん。消火器があればよかったんだけど。
There's nothing we can do for the woods. And it might be too late for us at this rate. Suddenly, at that moment. Huh? I hesitantly pick something up from the ground. It's Kyrie's Santa hat. It's on fire. The hat, half coming apart at the seams and half scorched, tells a tragic tale. It's hard to think of the person who wore this meeting anything but a horrific ending. Oh God. At that moment, the unspeakingly grim scene spread out before me triggers a thought from deep inside. Inescapable disasters, inevitable death, utter despair. This is just like what Sister Lily said happened 101 years before. The end of the world. For the people here, the town is their whole world, and yet it's actually so small. Even I can see how tiny it is, which is why I'm convinced the town had miraculously been spared 101 years ago, and now the apocalyptic death that somehow avoided was back with a vengeance. As if mocking our inability to do nothing but await our impending doom, real snow begins lazily drifting from the sky. A cruel white Christmas. Humans, delicate snowflakes, are equally helpless against the hellfire raging through the town.
どうして？
Yune let out an anguished cry. Let's hope these snow particles aren't fucking the bitrate. Why?
これからもずっとこんな毎日が続けばいいのにな。
He wanted her current life to continue as it was. She had no reason to assume it wouldn't. That's what she's come to know as normal. Existing on the outskirts of the outside world, she lived her everyday life without considering the possibility that it might crumble under her feet. Whoever thinks the world they live in might someday instantly vanish isn't into the ether.
どうしてこんなことが起こるの？やめてよ、返してよ。私もっとお祈りするし、頑張るから。
Yune, is there anything I can do to comfort her right now? I could tell her that there's a chance that Kyrie is still alive, but honestly I have no idea if that's true. And if our friends aren't immune to the dangers of the world, then what's it to guarantee our own safety? In fact, we have no way of knowing if we'll even get out of here and get out of this alive. The town never planned for contingencies because, as Yuji said, no one ever imagined something like this could happen. They were woefully unprepared due to the Aurora binding the town. And I'm sure someone like Yune, who grew up here, knows about the signs, knows what the signs are pointing to. bemoans the word. I sympathize completely. During my short month living here in this town, I've made so many unforgettable memories. Without any knowledge of who I was before, I know in my heart that my experiences here have shaped me into who I am now. Similar to Yune's memories of how far she'd come from last year, I realize all the paths I've taken throughout my life have led me here to this town. She told me she enjoyed living here. She liked this town even though she had nothing to compare it to. When everyday life is blissful, peaceful, flip side can be devastatingly painful. A sudden disaster and the ensuing destruction, faced with such an outrageous shock, Yune's breaking down. A simple yet definite denial. It's the only thing she can do. Most people would turn to escapist delusions in a similar situation. Faced with inescapable doom, which is definitely not a nightmare. There is only one thing you can do. Pray for a miracle. Then I'm suddenly enveloped in a white light. Where am I? Welcome to heaven, my friend. The heart of the art gallery. I know this place well, and yet I'm overwhelmed by the feeling that something is wrong. Why am I here? Knowing there's no way I could have somehow slipped underground, I can't figure out how I got here. There's no sign that the raging flames have reached here yet. Flames? No, wait. I must be... The fire. Right. We escaped the fire. The flames that destroyed the school, the dorms, the Christmas tree, and everyone we knew. I escaped, but how did I get here? There's a gap in my memories. The piece of the puzzle that connects the last thing I remember with where I am now is missing. Suddenly, I realize... Yune... She's there, floating in the sky. Somehow, her panties aren't showing. So, you know, at least there's a bit more class than in her first CG. Scritto, intermezzo William Tell. I didn't know how to pronounce half of that sentence. Motherfucker! You're Yune, right? The question spills from my lips as I'm thrown off by the alien glow that surrounds her. The shining aura around her forms a beautiful silhouette that's shaped like Yune, without retaining any of her characteristics. The beauty of her profile as she gazes upwards reminds me of our fortuitous first meeting, her unblinking, ephemeral expression reminiscent of an exquisite sculpture. It was a work of fine art, depicting the type of beauty that not only stops time, but lives outside of it. And yet... sound of her voice, the same as always, instantly wipes the mystical memory of her from my mind. I feel sad, yet full of warmth. I'm awake? What do you mean?
さっきまで寝てたみたいだから。って言っても、私も目覚めたばかりなんだけど。
I was asleep? I'm immediately suspicious, unable to remember anything she says I was doing. Nothing makes sense, but I realize she's not to blame. She's not to blame here. What are we doing here? We died in that fire. I can't forget the images of destruction seared into my memory. It wasn't a dream. I can still feel the scorching heat on my skin from what must have been seconds before.
そう。私たちは。私たちだけじゃない。町のみんなは。あの火に巻き込まれて、建物も燃えて、逃げ場なんてなかった。私も覚えてる。
So we somehow managed to escape to the art gallery? The gallery is underground. Perhaps too far underground for the flames to reach.
違うよ。ほら、いつもの週だったら突っ込むところ、まだ突っ込めてないよ。
Audio? What do you mean? Nothing was wrong with the audio. Man, you need to check your headphones or whatever. I heard something. I mean, it was close to 20 minutes, so I guess you could have. But you know what else it is? It's been 4 hours. It's all true. There's no way she can be here without me. It seems rude to try to make light of the situation. Are you floating?
そう。種も仕掛けもないよ。これは本当に浮いてるの。
I tried telling you. Oh, yeah. She's giggling delightedly, like a small child, as she waves her arms and legs around. As I struggle to figure out if this is some kind of trick, or what exactly it means.
それにね。
Whoa, Yune jump scare.
すごいでしょ。
Yune suddenly vanishes, only to appear a moment later right in front of me. Here is definitely the right word. My mind is unable to comprehend the speed of her movement. Am I dreaming?
私は週よりもちょっと早起きだったからいろいろと調べたんだけど、どうもここは普通の世界じゃないみたい。
How is it different?
週もこれ食べればわかると思う。
With that, she hands something to me. Oh, of course it's an apple. Look, all I'm saying, Dexter, that if you want another hour, you just need to, you know. It's an apple. One of the pair we'd eaten on the day so long ago. On that day so long ago. And that's why they're the only two in the art gallery, aka Heaven? I still don't know what it is. Is this the same apple from before?
少なくとも本物のリンゴだよ。
Her special apple ornaments had become real after we hung them on the Christmas tree. Why the sudden change of heart? I don't know. Maybe it's because a big thing happened that fucking... almost like the world was destroyed. I don't know. You tell me. The fruit in my hand looks identical. Also, it's close to the choices, right? You told me that that the choices neither happened before during or after Christmas. So, it's this time.
赤いリンゴもあったけど、そっちは私が一口食べたら消えちゃった。だからシュウは青リンゴね。
Whenever time it is. This is the same one I ate before. It's not necessarily a pleasant memory. Honestly, it's not even a memory at all. All I recall is how bizarre it was.
じゃあほら、早く食べて食べて。そうすれば全部わかるから。
Oh, okay. I can't make heads or tails out of what's going on. At the very least, I know this is somehow the exact same apple from before. The two apples that fell from the Christmas tree on the first day of Advent. All I know for sure is that Yune ate the red apple, and I ate the green one. Nothing bad will happen, right? The sparkle in her eyes urges me on. Having already eaten it once before, there's no point in turning it down now. Nom. I take a bite and countless memories flash through my mind like a bolt of lightning. What's happening to me? I understand now why she wanted me to do it. Nothing made sense before, but the first bite opened my eyes. Are we in some alternate reality?
そうみたい。美術回廊の景色にはなってるけど、絵みたいなものだと思う。
As soon as I took a bite, my mind was filled with an understanding of the world around me. We're in some sort of subspace, similar to a lot of ways to the reality we were once in, and yet very different. Oh, the apple's gone.
でも、わかったでしょ?
I understand. Or rather, the knowledge was shoved into my brain. It was as if someone had copied an entire textbook of information and pasted it into my brain. At the very least, I have a pretty good idea of what sort of place this is. A dimension outside of space and time. You might say it's structured differently. The space we're in has been made specifically for us, like some sort of parallel pocket dimension. No way. This can't be. This is way too crazy. I know we're inside the gallery, the art gallery.
ギャラリーだけど、いつものギャラリーじゃないよ。そんなこと、シュウはもうわかってるでしょ?
I keep telling you, you're in heaven. I know it's not. I know it's not. This place exists in a different space, filled with some kind of holy energy. But there aren't any holes. -2. My brain has been force-fed with the information I need to understand exactly where I am, whether I like it or not. All because I took a bite from the green apple.
シュウだって浮こうと思えば浮けるし飛べるよ。ここだとすごくイメージ通りに体が動く。
You're right. It's really working. Whatever I imagine just happens, exactly the way I picture it in my mind. The ease with which I can control everything, like playing a video game, is slightly terrifying. Well, you know, people who play visual novels don't really play video games the same way as normal people do. So, I mean, they say seeing is believing, but this goes beyond that. I can't not believe it. I can't not believe. We're in a complete different reality.
だから今の私たちがあの火災に巻き込まれることはないってこと。
But it means we can't interfere with what's going on either. being in an alternate reality means we exist on a parallel yet separate timeline. All we can do is watch the tragic tale unfold from afar, unable to do anything to stop it. I still don't understand how we got here in the first place.
あれそれはわからないの？
Do you? She seems honestly surprised. While the apple taught me the intricacies of how this reality works, I still have no idea how it came to be or how I got here.
私たちがここにいるのはね。
She explains to me everything she learned from the red apple. I finally understand why she seems so detached from her emotions.
やり直すためだよ。
A second chance? Even before the words leave my lips, I grasp the meaning behind them.
どうしてこんなことが起こるの？やめてよ。返してよ。私、もっとお祈りするし、頑張るから。
In the midst of that catastrophic scenario, all she wanted was the chance to try again. Seeing the look of hope on her face, there's only one conclusion I can draw from her words. A second chance to stop it from happening?
大正解。
An act of God had decimated the town. The facts are undeniable, even from where we stand. All we can do from here, from where we are, is hope for the best. Is something like that even possible?
できるって赤リンゴは言ってた。
It seems that the information we can learn differs depending on the apple's color.
ほら、これって何か思い出すでしょ？あのリンゴがさ、私たちにやり直す力をくれたんだよ。
Listen, I've read my fair share of regression manhwa. I know exactly how this turns out, alright? Her smile is almost blindingly bright, reminding me so much of the Yune I've come to know. The ability to turn back time at any point. You want to alter your own fate? Similar to a girl we're both very familiar with. The girl who jumped through time. Wow, I never would have guessed. Fuck it. I can't believe they actually referenced... I can't believe they actually referenced the fucking movie they watched.
そう、私たちはあの日にリンゴを食べてアンナになったんだよ。
My mind turns back to the movie we watched in class. Seems as if we've somehow found ourselves in a similar predicament.
私たちの町を守るために、もう一度アドベントをやり直すの。
Except that it doesn't end up with the main girl getting dating the boy. It ends up with the main girl watching the guy date another girl, Kyrie, because that's the first choice. That's the first route.
だから私たちはここへ来た。時間を巻き戻して未来を変えるために。
It's clear she's made up her mind to do this. We're not too far gone for her to lie about any of this, and honestly, knowing I'm in this reality is enough for me to accept anything I'm told.
ねえシュウ、あの日町に起こったのは何だと思う？
Rapture. Go to the guide. I'll get to the choices first. What? Those raging fires, a natural disaster, an accident? All of them seem to fit, and yet I have a feeling the real answer is something much different. That horrific scene triggered some deeper understanding. In my opinion, there's nothing less than the end of the world.
私も101年前に起こったのはこういうことなのかなって思った。
パンドラの箱が開けられたのですよ。天使のラッパとともに7つの封印が解かれ、馬は最悪をもたらし、大地が揺れ、星が落ち、人々は死に絶えたと。
You gotta be fucking kidding me. The 7 trumpets are the fucking trumpets that they played throughout the entire day. Oh my fucking god. What's the angels? What are the angels in this analogy, alright? Because of course the 4 horsemen are the horses that escaped or whatever. Oh. Bro, this game is cooked. I remember shortly after I arrived here, Sister Lily had told me about the apocalypse, the end of the world. That was what we witnessed, albeit on a smaller scale. What do you think caused all of those fires?
だからそれも探らなくちゃいけない。それが私たちにしかできないことだから。
This is our second chance. He seems to understand the situation perfectly, but having only eaten from the green apple, I'm struggling to keep up. You're saying you can control time?
それが赤リンゴの効果みたい。言ったでしょ、アンナだって。今の私ならそれができるって。
Of course you can. Why? How come Yune got the overpowered apple? Fuck you. Chu only got his memories? Bro, that's nothing compared to being able to turn back time. Time travel, not just on this timeline, but on the one we came from. I realize we're only able to access this otherwise impossible power due to the forbidden apples. It really does feel like we're in that movie. It's kind of funny thinking how something so ridiculous could happen in real life. Yeah, I know, right? This is real life. It's unbelievable. And yet, even as the thought crosses my mind, I realize it's not that extraordinary. It's not that extraordinary. Because we ate from the apple. Regardless of how those seemingly separate incidents are linked, the situation we find ourselves in seems unreal, unbelievable. This must be a dream or a hallucination. That's the most rational, sane explanation. And yet, if I had to describe this fabricated reality in one word, if I were to paint this mythical landscape on canvas, what would I call it?
奇跡。
Yune mumbles the word under her breath, as if able to read my thoughts word for word.
これは神様がくれた奇跡なんじゃないかな。
Her smile, more dazzling than any precious jewel, hints at the future that promises to be just as bright.
というわけ、わかった？
Not really, no. We'll be able to take the whole world back in time, right? Yeah, not just ourselves.
そうそう。
The whole scenario is completely illogical. Considering how convinced she is, all I can do for now is go along with it. We have a second chance to change our future.
もう完全にアンナの世界だよね。私、それはちょっと嬉しいかも。
She's always been a huge fan of the movie and the character. I can't deny that I'm a bit delighted by the idea myself. We have to decide what day we should start from.
私たちが最初にあのリンゴを食べた日、12月2日だね。
So that's what she meant by starting over. Our bodies will go back in time, but our memories will remain intact. That will give us 23 days between the start of Advent and the cataclysmic Christmas. Hannah was only given 3 days to net a boyfriend, but considering the difference between our ultimate goals, it makes sense we'd be given more time. Yeah, getting a girlfriend is only a byproduct of what we're doing.
その23日間であの原因を突き止めて止める。簡単でしょ？
Yeah, easy. I'll be back. Easier said than done. This is clearly not a simple case of arson, considering the crazy way those fires spread. We simply don't have enough pieces to even begin to imagine what caused them, accidental or otherwise.
でも当然他のみんなはそのことを知らない。だから教えてあげなくちゃいけない。私たちはさ、ノアになるんだよ。町が神様に滅ぼされないように箱舟を作るの。
Is that why the chapter name was called Noel? Noah's Ark. A story Sister Lily regaled us with once during morning assembly, and one of the most famous tales from the Old Testament.
大洪水が起こることを示されたノアは、神の言われた通り、箱舟を作ります。
Look, I know that every story that Sister Lily talked about was just another Chekhov's gun, but you know, I would not have been able to predict that this is how it was going to be used as an analogy.
しかしながら民は、そんなノアを見て笑います。世界が滅ぶ大洪水など、誰も信じてはくれません。
When Noah?
ノアは結局誰にも信じてもらえなかったけど、私たちはみんなを説得しなくちゃいけない。
We have to do better.
もちろんあんな火事を起こさないのが一番だけど。
I thought God promised to never send another flood to destroy humanity. Well, it wasn't a flood, so technically he's not wrong. Granted, this was fire, not a flood. Told you. Since we're dealing with fire, a giant ark isn't going to do much.
逆にこっちが水を用意すればいいのかな？
Isn't going to do good. Those fires were so massive, all the water in the world couldn't make a dent. The ridiculousness of these hypothetical scenarios suddenly snaps me back to reality.
まだ信じられない？
To tell you the truth, the whole concept of time travel, especially coming from someone so infatuated with Anna and what she can do, all of this is simply too far-fetched. All we did was eat some apples, some strange apples, but still.
しょうがないな。じゃあ実際にやってみれば納得するよね。
That would definitely help, but is that truly possible? In the unspoken question in my eyes, Yushine winks at me, as if to say, just you wait. Yune suddenly screws up her face, squeezing her eyes shut tightly. Are you okay?
なんだろう、今力を貯めてる。
On what?
力を貯めてその反動でシューを遠くに飛ばすみたいな。
Is that how it works?
だからあの日に戻るための。
So in other words, you're charging up?
なんて言ったらいいかな。そうだ、弓を射るみたいにこうギューって引っ張ってパッて離す感じ。
So you're the bow in this analogy?
そう私本物の弓なんて見たことないけど。
Right. He describes it in a way that makes sense to me. Yuna has to pull herself tight enough to propel us back through time. You pull back on your bowstring as far as you can, and then send us flying.
そう、そんな感じ。つまり私は今キューピッドなのだ。
This is definitely not what I was expecting. The words that barely left her lips when she suddenly transformed into an angel. Anything is possible, huh? Bro is not Love Miel. There's a fire alarm. Something's being set on fire. Okay, it's fine now. Her description of herself as some metaphorical bow seems almost to prove that we really are in an alternate reality. The way she describes this power that only she has access to is so uniquely Yune that I find myself unable to doubt her. This entire situation is so far removed from anything I've ever experienced before. The apples must offer different powers. You don't say.
かもね。私はこうして弓を引くためにここにいるみたい。
That makes sense. As long as we exist in this timeline, we're unable to change anything in our original reality. The space we're in is like a form of purgatory, a waiting area between times and worlds. If the red apple grants the ability to travel through time, what does the green apple do? Nothing. It gives you your memories back. That's it. Not only that, but she knew right away her powers were the result of eating the red apple. I can't perceive any change in myself other than the ability to exist in this other reality. I hesitate to ask Yune for help in understanding what's changed about me, as she clearly tries to focus. It's no big deal. We can discuss our plan of action, and the apples once we're back in the real world. Back to the real world. If we end up not being able to return, and the world ends regardless, then it won't matter anyway. Right now, waiting is the best thing I can do. Is it working?
もうちょっと。あと少しで23日分を引っ張れそうな気がする。
Her words are incredibly vague, but it seems to be the best way she can describe how it feels. She seems to be staring off at some distant point in the past, her mind focused harder than ever on charging up. Playing off her bow and arrow analogy, there's nothing I can do to help pull her taut, so I simply watch and wait. Still, I wonder why we're in the art gallery. Not wanting to disturb Yune's focus, my eyes slightly wander around the surrounding paintings. Over the surrounding paintings. Aside from the odd glow enveloping everything, nothing seems different. Then, at that moment...
シュウ先生、この絵は？
I don't.
おい先生、じゃあこれは？
I have no clue. Picasso, maybe? Or Van Gogh?
もう、先生なのに全然わかってないんですね。
Look, it's not my fault. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about art.
それにしても、シュウ先生はなんだか本当に友達のような気がしちゃうね。
This is trippy, bro. I am 1 year younger than you after all.
ほらほら、シュウ先生、あっちも行きましょう。
Fine, fine. I hear you. Huh? Yeah, that didn't happen. we never went down here with all 4 of them. What was that? Hey, Yuna, did you just... She's never called me Mr. Shu before. I turned to ask her about it. Her eyes suddenly snapped wide open. And then... Oh! Why were there 3 O's? Apparently she's charged and ready to go. Although she doesn't look any different from earlier.
いける。これはいけるよ。12月2日に戻れる。ごめん、シュウ。なんか言った？
It's nothing. More importantly, you're really ready?
今パッて話せば絶対戻れる。
She seems pretty confident. As for what I heard, I'm sure I imagined it. This includes me too, right? Just checking.
もち。
Her warm, reassuring smile reminds me of that long ago day when she thanked me for playing the organ for her.
一緒に来て、シュウ。私一人じゃ不安だから。
Sure, no one could. Noah wasn't able to save humanity on his own. But there's 2 of us, and as long as we're together, I feel like there's no way we can fail.
それじゃあ行くよ。アドベントの夜、私たちが初めてあのリンゴを食べた日に。
Can we really change fate? I feel like some dashing protagonist in a movie. Well, you know, unfortunately you're a dashing protagonist in a visual novel, so, you know...
映画じゃないんだから、失敗は許されないからね。それじゃあ、せーの。
Well, you mean unlike a movie, there's more room for failure considering we can save scum. We're catapulted on an arrow shot by the angel Yude. Ow. I was trying not to sneeze, and then... Yeah, everything hurts. We fly on wings of light back to where this all started, to alter the tides of time. Chapter 3, Part 1. Noah's Lost Ark. We're back, baby! Where am I? Did the OP happen yet? I forgot. I don't think it did. Stop here? Yeah, that's the plan. Thanks for watching. Thank you for logging. Thank you for chatting, first of all. If you enjoyed, a follow would be appreciated. And if you want to support me even further, you could always subscribe. Tomorrow, I'll be playing my Tetsu. Anyway. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.